From 1865 to 1963, in over 240 years, 4 gunshots that's shaken the American history. Each one tells a story of ambition, politics, and tragedy. Let's begin. Abraham Lincoln, April 14, 1865. Location: Ford's Theater, Washington, D.C. 031 to 200. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, had just led the country through the Civil War. 5 days after the South surrendered, he attended a play with his wife, Our American Cousin. At 10:15 p.m., while Lincoln laughed at a line in the play, John Wilkes Booth, a Confederate sympathizer and famous actor, snuck into the presidential box. He fired a single-shot Derringer pistol right behind Lincoln's left ear. Booth leapt onto the stage shouting, "Sic semper tyrannis," Latin for "thus always to tyrants." Lincoln was unconscious immediately. He never woke up. He was taken to a nearby house across the street and died the next morning at 7:22 a.m. He was the first U.S. president ever assassinated. Booth fled on horseback, breaking his leg during the escape. A 12-day manhunt followed, spanning Maryland and Virginia. The military finally cornered him in a tobacco barn on April 26. When he refused to surrender, Union soldiers set the barn on fire. One soldier shot Booth in the neck. He died within hours, paralyzed. 8 conspirators were arrested. 4 were hanged, including Mary Surratt, the first woman executed by the U.S. government. James A. Garfield, July 2, 1881. 20th President of the United States. Location: Baltimore and Potomac Railroad Station, Washington, D.C. James A. Garfield was president for just 120 days. He never even had time to govern properly. Charles Guiteau, a mentally ill failed lawyer, Guiteau delusionally believed that he had played a major role in Garfield's election victory, for which he should have been rewarded with a consulship. Guiteau felt frustrated and offended by the Garfield administration's rejections of his applications to serve in Vienna or Paris. He declared himself an agent of God and bought a revolver, carefully choosing one with an ivory handle so it would look good in a museum. On July 2nd, Guiteau shot Garfield in the back at the Baltimore and Potomac Railroad Station in Washington, D.C. Garfield didn't die instantly. He lingered for 11 weeks, and it was poor medical care that killed him. Infection from unsterile treatment caused massive internal damage. He died on September 19th. What happened to Guiteau? Guiteau made no attempt to escape. He even bragged that God told him to do it. He was arrested on the spot and put on trial, which became a media circus. He insulted the court, claimed divine inspiration, and acted as his own lawyer. He was found guilty and hanged on June 30th, 1882. William McKinley, September 6, 1901, 25th President of the United States. Location: Pan American Exposition, Buffalo, New York. McKinley's second term was off to a strong start. He was a popular president, a wartime leader, and a symbol of American expansion. On September 6th, he stood at the Temple of Music to greet the public. Leon Czolgosz, a 28-year-old anarchist inspired by radical political movements, got in line with a hidden revolver wrapped in a cloth. As McKinley reached to shake his hand, 2 shots rang out. 1 bullet bounced off a button. The second hit McKinley in the abdomen. He didn't die immediately. At first, doctors believed he would recover, but internal gangrene set in, and on September 14th, he died. What happened to Czolgosz? Czolgosz was immediately tackled by the crowd, beaten and restrained by guards. He was arrested within seconds. He refused to speak much at trial. In just 8 days, he was convicted and sentenced to death. On October 29, 1901, barely 45 days later, Czolgosz was executed in the electric chair. His final words: "I killed the president because he was the enemy of the people." John F. Kennedy, November 22, 1963, 35th President of the United States. Location: Dealey Plaza, Dallas, Texas. John F. Kennedy was young, visionary, and one of the most popular U.S. presidents in history. On November 22, 1963, he rode through Dallas in an open-top convertible with First Lady Jackie Kennedy. Crowds lined the streets. At 12:30 p.m., as the car passed the Texas School Book Depository, gunshots echoed. The first bullet missed. The second pierced Kennedy's upper back and throat. The third struck his head, fatally. Governor John Connally was also hit but survived. Who did it? Lee Harvey Oswald, a 24-year-old ex-Marine with Marxist beliefs, was seen leaving the building minutes after the shots. He killed a police officer while fleeing and was arrested in a movie theater less than 2 hours later. Oswald denied the charges, calling himself a patsy, but he never got a trial. Just 2 days later, while being transferred to county jail, Jack Ruby, a Dallas nightclub owner, stepped out of the crowd and shot Oswald on live television. Oswald died on November 24th. Silence forever. Conspiracies still surround JFK's death, involving the mafia, CIA, even the Soviets. But officially, Oswald acted alone. Ruby was sentenced to death but died of cancer before retrial. 4 presidents, 4 assassins, and 4 different endings. Each murder didn't just take a life, it changed America forever. Let us know in the comments, which of these stories shocked you most?